Are you ready to transform your pool into a stunning oasis? At Mainland Pool Service, they're a family-owned business committed to keeping your pool looking pristine all year round. They believe that pool care should be proactive, not reactive, which is why their skilled team handles everything from routine cleaning to complex issues with precision. They prioritize clear communication and personalized solutions to exceed your expectations. Join the Mainland Pool Service family today and experience the difference their expertise and dedication can bring to your relaxation retreat. Contact them now at mainlandpoolservice.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Azzy's making money thanks to the new CBA.
Incredible stuff.
Her
good stuff.
Rookie contract. She is projected to make $500,000 this year, and just in comparison, Paige made $78,000 last year, and Caitlin Clark made $76,000.
Anytime we get workers getting paid what they're worth, I'm all for it.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizzlies, take your fandom to the next level by becoming an MVP.
How long have you been an MVP?
Since day one.
Enjoy the great benefits of being a season ticket member. Pre-game MVP moments, including Autograph Alley, exclusive Grizz gear deals, access to member or MVP-only player events, and much more.
He's been an MVP for 22 years!
Become a Grizzlies MVP today.
From the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
Here. My name is Gary Parrish, speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum. We're in downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you didn't think the Magic and or Celtics would be fine after taking 3-1 leads in their best-of-7 series first-round NBA playoffs because they weren't fine. Both ended up losing. Wild weekend in the association. Round 2 starts tonight. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. The next segment, Michael Eaves is going to join me. He, of course, is a studio host for ESPN. You see him on SportsCenter. He'll pop in here in the next segment. I'll talk to him about a number of things, including history made at Churchill Downs. Exciting Kentucky Derby took place this weekend. Michael Eaves will join me in the next segment. Finish talking to him. We will take a break, come back, and do 5 more things you need to know. At which point we'll discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Ice Cube was among the biggest stars at Riverbeat this weekend down in Tom Lee Park. He had some words for LeBron James in defense of the city of Memphis. I'll share them with you in about 40 minutes. Former Vanderbilt star Diego Pavia worked with the Ravens for the first time this weekend. I'll tell you what Baltimore's coach said about the Heisman Trophy finalists. We'll do that a little later on in the show. Rest in peace. Spirit Airlines. It shut down in the middle of the night this weekend after 34 years of operation. The rising cost of fuel because of a war in Iran reportedly played a role. I'll ask Bennett if he ever got into a fist fight on a Spirit Airlines flight. We'll do that in just a bit. A lottery ticket worth $2 million was sold just down the street in Pavia, Mississippi. It remains unclaimed. So, like, if you're listening and you bought a lottery ticket last week in Pavia, check your numbers. You might have $2 million just like, sitting in your car somewhere. You could be holding a winner. Tell you more about that. We'll do it in the third segment. And it's Star Wars Day throughout the galaxy. I'll ask Bennett if he plans to celebrate. Yeah. You're going to celebrate?
Of course I am.
Okay, Bennett, we'll talk about it during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carry-out, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start in the Association because day 16, if you're counting, of the 2026 NBA playoffs, it's in the books, which means we are now on day 17. We are officially in the second round of the 2026 NBA playoffs. There's only 8 teams left in the East. It's the Knicks and the Sixers and the Pistons and the Cavs. In the West, Thunder, Lakers, Spurs, Timberwolves. When we left here on Friday, it was considered in the betting markets unlikely that the Pistons and Sixers would advance out of their series. But the Pistons, they won a Game 6 in Orlando. Then they won a Game 7 by 22 at home to advance as the 1 seed in the East. And then the Sixers, they win a Game 7 in Boston to set up what should be a fun series that starts tonight on the corner of 33rd and 8th in Midtown Manhattan. It's Sixers-Knicks. Big Ben Bennett, good to see you on a Monday morning. What surprised you most this weekend? Let me run you through some stuff.
Okay.
What surprised you most this weekend? King LeBron, at the age of 41, and his Lakers closing out the Rockets in Houston by 20 on Friday night? Or was it the Pistons coming back from 3-1 down to eliminate the Magic? And, oh, by the way, if you want Jamal Mosley, he's available. They fired him this morning in Orlando. Was it the Sixers winning a Game 7 in Boston, or maybe even the Raptors pushing the Cavs before finally falling in a Game 7 in Cleveland, or perhaps something else? What surprised you this weekend in the National Basketball Association?
It's for sure the Pistons upsetting the Celtics, because even though the
Sixers, Celtics.
It was for sure the Sixers upsetting the Celtics, because even though they didn't have Jason Tatum in that Game 7, the Celtics haven't had Jason Tatum all season. Like, they got here without Jason Tatum. He came back towards the end of the year. He's been productive for him, but he hasn't necessarily been the Jason Tatum that we all know. He's coming back from a really bad injury. And so I think most Celtics fans assume they're going to get the real Jason Tatum back next season.
That's
right?
usually the way it works.
Yeah. And so they got there without him all season. Jaylen Brown was an MVP candidate. I thought, frankly, when we sat here, I guess it was I said that I thought that in that Game 6 that the Pistons would get that done. We'd go to a Game 7 and the Celtics would blast them in Game 7, and that is not what happened. So that one was definitely the most surprising of the weekend for me.
You're exactly right. Not having Tatum for a Game 7, obviously not ideal. I don't even know if it's controversial. I saw some people saying some stuff just because I guess some people say some stuff. But to me, this is simple. It's a young man on a big contract. He's an amazing talent. He's coming off of an Achilles injury. If he feels anything down there, you just don't do it. I mean, period. You just don't do it.
No, I mean, they were like the surprising team this year in the East. And I think people thought they were still going to be a playoff team, but for them to get all the way up to that 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, that was the
biggest surprise.
That was the biggest surprise. And
so you hope the hope is that you then get him back, and hey, the East is wide open.
Yeah,
let's get there and figure out if we could get in a fight with Oklahoma City or San Antonio or whatever. But when you get to a Game 7 in the first round, and anything happens where Jason Tatum is feeling any discomfort in his, just not even a conversation. You feel not right. It's not right. You don't play. We saw what happened to Tyrese Halliburton last year when he tried to push it. You just can't risk anything with Jason Tatum under these very specific set of circumstances. So he doesn't play. But Boston's still favored. You're still supposed to win that game at home. And instead of going out and winning it, they throw up another 13 of 49 from beyond the arc. And Joe Mazzulla, after the game, more or less said what he always says, which is, this is how we play. And, we've done a lot of good things playing this way. And this is how we play. And, sometimes this is the way it goes. Is that an acceptable answer from a basketball coach if regularly provided? On some hand, let me start by saying this. Most people believe Joe Mazzulla is one of the best coaches in the NBA. I agree. He is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. He already has a championship. Any conversations about good coach, bad coach don't make much sense to me.
I agree.
It's how good. How good is he? That's the conversation. Clearly good. And I totally understand the sentiment of, this is how we play. We won a championship playing this way. We just lost a 7-game series to the Sixers playing this way. But this is the way we play. I get the sentiment, except if I were a fan, at some point, I do think I'd go, that can't be what you say every time you lose.
Right.
That can't be just hey, what are you going to do? You know, this is how we play, and sometimes we win, and sometimes we lose. Like
it's a version of hey, we draw it up and the shot just didn't fall. Right? It's one of those.
It's got to be okay.
Yeah.
This is how we play, and this is it. Like I think what I prefer to hear from a coach is this is how we prefer to play, and when it's going well, you ain't touching us. But sometimes we got to get away from it because it's not going well. I just don't think you can sit there and continue to say, this is how we play. Well, it's not going well in the first quarter. This is how we play. Well, it's not going well again. This is how we play. Well, it's not going well. This is how we play. And you've just been eliminated, blew a 3-1 lead. But congrats on staying consistent to how you play. I see some Celtics fans being really frustrated with that. Like, yo, man, we'll ride with you. But you can't sit down in front of a microphone after every disappointing loss and go, what do you want us to do?
Yeah. The East is so interesting now, man. Like it feels a lot like last season where, you know, sure the West kind of felt inevitable and that OKC monster, and that's still very much a thing. But like, dude, I could see like any of these teams, honestly. I mean, I think like right now, if you asked me to pick, I'd still go with the Pistons. But I could see any of these teams, frankly, you know, getting hot and getting out of the Eastern Conference. And then if you're in the finals, like, it's kind of we'll see what happens. Someone could get real lucky this season. I won't say luck because they would have had to do it, but it is for sure super open in the East now.
So in the West, Oklahoma City is a minus 260 favorite to win in the betting markets. Okay. They are still a pretty. It's basically like we always put this in baseball terms. It's like a Dodgers-Rockies game. It's you want the Dodgers against the Rockies or you want the Oklahoma City Thunder against the Western Conference. That's about where we're at. So they're a heavy favorite still. Wemby's awesome. Spurs are great. Oklahoma City is still a heavy favorite to get out of the West. In the East, nobody is minus money. The Knicks are the favorite.
Okay.
At plus 145.
That makes sense.
Then the Pistons at plus 240. Then the Cavs at plus 310. Then the Sixers at plus 600. But to your point, I wouldn't be shocked if the Sixers came out of this thing, and they're the least likely in the betting markets at plus 600. So if I could envision that happening, then I can envision anything happening in the Eastern Conference. To your point, I do believe it's wide open. There is no scenario you could lay out that I wouldn't say, yeah, I could see that. And no matter in what order you want to put these teams right now, none of them, like Oklahoma City, is by definition so good because this is where we're at right now. They could lose Jalen Williams and still be the favorite to get out of the West. They are. He's not playing right now. There's nobody in the Eastern Conference that could lose a player of that caliber and just keep it going. In other words, even if you see one of these teams go up 2-0 on the other, you were just a little bitty injury away from flipping the whole thing. The East is there's nothing I look forward to more in this postseason than the Western Conference Finals, theoretically, between the Spurs and the Thunder. To me, that's the best thing we're going to get, on paper at least. But in terms of, like, what do I want to watch this week, it's the Eastern Conference playoffs.
I agree.
The Eastern Conference playoffs. Because the West, I don't know. We might take some twists and turns to get there, but it does seem inevitable that we're getting Thunder Spurs. But there's
I disagree.
Expand.
I mean, Minnesota's been there the past 2 seasons. So if Ant can play and beat Anthony Edwards,
listed as questionable for tonight,
I give them a chance for sure. I definitely give the Timberwolves a chance. Frankly, like, we'll see if Luka can come back at all this series. It seems like more and more unlikely. It doesn't sound good. I don't know, man. That Lakers team, like, we'll see. I think that the Thunder are going to handle them, but we'll see.
So Edwards is questionable for tonight, but the Spurs are listed as 13.5-point favorites. So that would suggest
he might not go.
The betting markets are baking in right now that he is probably going to be a late scratch.
But if you can get him back for game 2, win game 2, then you're in it. Like, you know,
it changes the if you like. I hate it when people say like stuff like this, like you're just trying to win one or whatever. But when your star player is injured and coming back perhaps tonight, if not tonight, hopefully for game 2 on Wednesday, you really do, if you're Minnesota, like, can we just get one of these? Can we be tied 1-1 coming back home with Anthony Edwards in our starting lineup for game 3? Like, if you can get to that place, you're in an awesome place.
For sure.
You're in a place like, all right, now it's a best of 5. We've got home court advantage. Anthony Edwards is back in the lineup. Let's go. If you could somehow figure that out. Tough thing to figure out means you got to win one in San Antonio. And perhaps one without Anthony Edwards because there's a chance he could miss both of the games in San Antonio. But if you could somehow, some way get one, then it becomes a little more interesting, a lot more interesting heading into game 3. But I'd feel comfortable right now saying just wake me up for Spurs Thunder. I don't know how we'll get there exactly. Is it 4, 5, 6, 7? But we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. In the East, though, like, who knows? Could go a million different directions. One thing we do know, it didn't even take them 24 hours in Orlando to get rid of Jamal Mosley after the Magic were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. They blow a 3-1 lead, but they blow a 3-1 lead when Franz Wagner gets hurt. They blow a 3-1 lead as the 8 seed. So this isn't quite like the Celtics blowing a 3-1 lead as the 2 seed. They blew a 3-1 lead as the 8 seed to the 1 seed after a key player got hurt, and yet the coach still gets axed. And like I was talking with Jess earlier, this is one of those deals where they were just going to get him. Like, this was going to go this direction whenever it had to go this direction. Like, she even asked me, if they'd have won yesterday, what do they do? Well, if they'd have won yesterday, they would advance to the second round of the NBA playoffs, and then they would play the Cavs, and they would probably eventually lose to the Cavs, and then they would fire Jamal Mosley. Like, whenever the Magic's season, I think they've known this for a while. Whenever our season ends here in Orlando, within 24 hours, we will have a coaching vacancy because it's well documented. There's a locker room / coaching issue in Orlando. Most notably, there's a Paolo Banchero, Jamal Mosley problem. And history tells us for decades in the NBA, very few coaches win a headbutting contest with the star player. Even in Orlando a million years ago, go look that one up. The guy who coaches at the University of Memphis now was the star player in Orlando, and something like this went down there. This is the history of the NBA, and the best advice anybody could ever give any NBA coach is one way or another, you got to be on the same page with your best player.
Yeah.
It's just very difficult. And I say all this like while recognizing we are sitting in a place where after years, the best player like kind of didn't win that fight eventually. Like right now, the coach is still in place and the best player is probably going to be moved out this offseason. So here's one where it's kind of moving in another direction. But in the history of the NBA, if you can't get along with your best player, you're not going to be employed very long. And if Jamal Mosley did not know that, and I'm certain he did, seems like a sharp guy, well, then he got official confirmation of that this morning. And now you'll never guess who's being rumored to maybe be the next head coach of the Orlando Magic.
Who?
Billy Donovan, who once upon a time
turned it down.
Took it.
Yeah, that's right. Did the press conference.
Took it. Took the job, did the press conference, and then turned around and came back home. Yeah. Like when
righting a wrong? Is that what we're doing here?
I think, you know what I think?
Just a different place in life.
You know what I think? Here's what I think. I think just like Jamal Mosley probably knew he was getting axed the second this season was over, Orlando's front office probably knew they were axing him the second this season was over.
They got an idea of who they're bringing in.
Billy Donovan is in Chicago realizing that thing is going nowhere. It's just you're stuck in 8th forever. What if I resigned from the Chicago Bulls, took a vacation, maybe another job in a state I used to live, even a job I took for a minute. Maybe that job could open. Maybe they'd be interested in me. And perhaps that's why I don't take the North Carolina job, because I could be the coach of the Orlando Magic. Just give it a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
So we might be headed that direction. Dusty May's name also connected to it. My guess, next season, Dusty May's coaching at Michigan. And yeah, Billy Donovan might be coaching in Orlando. I'll ask Michael Eaves about it next.
The Grizzlies are proud to team up with Prime Global Group, a company on a mission to redefine real estate investment. By leveraging deep experience, strategic insight, and robust resources, Prime Global Group is shaping a smarter, socially responsible future. Whether you're an investor or simply curious, now's the time to explore innovative strategies that align with your values. Join the movement and discover how you can be a part of this exciting evolution. Visit primeglobalgroup.net to learn more and connect with the team today. That's primeglobalgroup.net.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org.
Kevin Garnett returned to Minnesota. How awesome was this? Look at this.
That's love right there.
When he walks in, and they brought him out of the tunnel. They're like, welcome back. They played like a tribute video.
That's the reason why guys like TA and them are here, bro.
It's the best.
You want to see the OGs back showing love.
It's the best. That is the best. Nothing has felt more wrong than Kevin Garnett not being a part of that.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Junior Grizzlies summer camps presented by Ortho South are the key to a slam dunk summer with over a dozen 4-day camps perfect for hoopers ages 6 to 14 looking to build fundamental skills and make unforgettable memories. With camps across the Mid-South in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, you won't have to go far for the ultimate hoops experience this summer. Registration comes with a Junior Grizzlies jersey, lunchbox, and a basketball to take home. Don't wait, space is limited. Visit grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies today to secure a spot for a fun-filled summer. That's grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio, and on Mondays in the second segment, I am joined by Michael Eaves, who, of course, among other things, hosts Sports Center for ESPN. He's here right now. Michael Eaves, how are you on this Monday?
I'm good, man. I'm still in vacation mode, as you can see from the leftover growth on my face, but I'm feeling pretty good, man.
Vacation mode is fine with me. I got a million things to talk to you about. I want to start with a headline. In Orlando from this morning, Jamal Mosley out less than 24 hours after the Magic eliminated first round of the playoffs. I guess this was always, whether it was after game 4, 5, 6, or 7, they were going to get him. We knew this was coming, didn't we?
Yeah, this is not surprising whatsoever. Based on the expectations over the last 2 seasons, maybe even go back to 3 seasons ago, they just never got to where a lot of people foresaw them going. And if you're going to make a change, it usually starts with the coach, because you're not going to leave, you're not going to get rid of your star players in that regard. So it's not surprising. And the fact that they go up 3-1 on the 1 seed and they can't close it out. I mean, they probably shouldn't have closed it out because the 1 seed should be better than the 8 seed, but nonetheless, it's just expectations based on top of expectations. It was a bad formula that he was just not going to get past.
And now it sounds like Billy Donovan's name already connected to that job, which makes a lot of sense for a lot of different reasons. It would kind of be, I don't know what the proper word is, but something that roughly 20 years after Billy Donovan did leave Florida for the Orlando Magic job before turning around and going back to Gainesville in the same week, it would be, I just bet that'd get brought up at the press conference, Billy Donovan back or in Orlando. Could you envision that's sort of where we might be headed?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Like when Billy decided that he had enough in Chicago, I was just wondering if he had enough with the NBA, right? It had been a long time, and so all the speculation goes maybe he's going to go back to college. But if he did do another NBA job, Gary, I just don't think there's that many he would take, right? So is Orlando one of those jobs in Florida where obviously so much of his success started from, I could totally see him doing that. And maybe it is a full circle moment, a job he should have had 20 years ago, or should have kept, I should say 20 years ago, and ends up doing it again. But I think that's just one of a handful of jobs that he would really consider if he's going to do the NBA again.
It sounds like probably the biggest development of the weekend in terms of the one thing in the NBA getting the most attention. The Celtics also blowing a 3-1 lead, but doing it as a 2 seed when Jason Tatum sits out Game 7 with some discomfort, lower leg, given what he went through last season. I don't think there's any even controversy connected to him sitting out Game 7. Is there? Like, he felt something? It'd be crazy to push him out there. Is there any controversy connected to Jason Tatum not playing?
Zero.
Right.
Zero.
Right.
Like, we all saw what happened to him last year.
That's right.
And if there's any possibility that something similar could happen again, who would put themselves in that position?
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
And also, the Celtics would not want to put him in that position either, because they still have next year with a contract that he's under. So it's, again, this is disappointing and maybe even borderline embarrassing for the Celtics and their fans. But to put Jason Tatum out there and make that the reason they lost, no. I think the 2 seed for them was a bit smoke and mirrors, quite honestly. Like, we were all surprised how well they played during the regular season to get to that point to begin with. But if you look at the starting 5 for that Game 7, yeah, they shouldn't have won that game. It was smoke and mirrors, dog. They didn't have the bodies. They didn't have the talent top for top to go out and win that Game 7, even if it was at home.
We are living in different media times, so I guess nothing should surprise me. But I did notice that Jaylen Brown then jumps on his computer and gives a very thorough breakdown of how the officials have an agenda against him. And it went in pretty hard in a way that I assume the NBA is going to weigh in on at some point. This is one of those deals where Jaylen Brown's a obviously smart guy, but even smart people sometimes can be misguided. If I'd have had access to him, I'd have said, hey, you might be making great points, but this might not come across the way you want it to come across. What did you make about Jaylen Brown jumping on Twitch, I guess, and pretty clearly criticizing the officials and saying they have an agenda?
Well, let's start with this. Jaylen Brown is very smart.
Yes.
And for him to come out and put that together, you can tell how much thought he's actually given it by the way he delivered his points. All right. So he's very intelligent in his mind, and he may be right. Yeah. I don't know if he is or not, but in his mind, he is completely right. And he tried to give you evidence as to why he is right. I did question the timing of it a little bit. And now this is the old school journalist in me, because you had a press conference, and if you want to bring it up there, you could have, and then you're in a room full of reporters who could ask follow-up questions. But to your point, Garrett, we are in a different age of media, and a lot of athletes, they don't want that environment. They want the environment where they can control the narrative. So he goes home and goes on Twitch, and he can say whatever he wants without getting challenged by anyone or being asked follow-up questions. So maybe that's the environment he really wanted to choose, as opposed to doing it, in the league environment. And with that being said, I wonder how the league will view it, because he didn't say it immediately after the game in an NBA arena in front of NBA press. He did it at home into his own personal camera and sent it out on his Twitch profile. So I don't know if that will make any difference in terms of how the league responds. But yeah, normally that's something you hear right after the game when the emotions are high. He had time to decompress a little bit and went home and still put this out there. So he gave it even more thought maybe than you would have thought if he just got there right after the game and was still upset about everything that happened.
In Game 7, the Celtics go 13 of 49 from 3. That's 27%. And Joe Mazzulla kind of did what he does, which is explain in pretty good detail, like, this is how we play. We get the shots that we get. These are the shots we want to take. When they go in, we're great. Sometimes they're not going to go in, and you just live with that. And I understand the sentiment completely. But I also watch Celtics fans going, man, every time we lose, you can't just say, what do you want me to do? This is how we play. What do you make of that back and forth between Celtics fans and the obviously accomplished and very good, but perhaps flawed a little bit basketball coach they have there in Boston?
Okay, first of all, he's not wrong. That is how they play. Yeah. That's just as simple as that. That's how they play. When they go in, they look great. When they don't, they look terrible. Right. Okay. But Celtics fans, they want a different answer, even if they don't know what the answer is.
Right.
So, like, what are you expecting him to say that's going to make you feel better? There's nothing he can say that's going to make you feel better in that moment, because they lost, regardless of if they made 12 out of 13 shots and lost by 1 at the buzzer, or they missed the last 12 or 13 shots in the game and lose at home to a team they should have beaten probably 2 games ago. That's just Look, people don't want the truth, Gary, when their emotions are high.
Right.
They want to feel better, but sometimes they don't even know what can make them feel better. And Joe Mazzulla, doesn't know what's going to make the fans feel better. And based on what we know from Joe Mazzulla, he doesn't give a damn what's going to make the Celtics fans feel better. So I don't know why they keep expecting him to be different in any regard. Now, here's a question for the organization and Brad Stevens specifically. Yes, this is how they play. Do they want to continue to play this way?
There you go.
Right? If it can't win, if it can't get them back to the NBA Finals, if it can't get them another championship, do they need to change the way they play to reach that goal? Because as of right now, it hasn't been happening.
On the other side of the Celtics is the Sixers, and this is turning into a fun story. I think I had thought at some point, like, I understand the build it around Embiid and go for it, but that window has passed. And perhaps we'll find out that it has, but they're in what appears to me to be a winnable series, and any series in the East, I think for any of these remaining teams is winnable in theory. Like the Philadelphia thing's kind of turning into an interesting story, and VJ Edgecombe, like they hit on a rookie pick, and he's helping them right now too.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at those three players, VJ, Joel, and of course Tyrese Maxey, those are three very talented players at three very key positions on an NBA team, right? So all that matters. And you have a rookie in Edgecombe who clearly is not afraid of the moment, right? He thrives in the moment, seemingly. Maxey's the same way. And Joel Embiid has clearly been one of the best players of his generation. So they have all the tools you would want to be a team that can go deep into the NBA playoffs. The thing for Philly for years has been overall the health of Joel Embiid and those other complementary players. It was Harden, who obviously didn't do well in that role. They expect a lot of Tobias Harris when he was there. Nope, he's not the guy. But no one expected Tyrese Maxey to be this guy. And he went and assumed that role. He took that role, especially in the absence of Joel Embiid so often with injuries. Now he's the clear-cut leader of that team, and he brings that Russell Westbrook energy to a squad that you want. When things are going bad, he can make a play that turns around the entire game. And you got a rookie that you can throw it to, and he can go make a play or make a shot and not be scared. So, yes, you have all the things right now. Even if the regular season didn't necessarily say that this is what you have, once you get to the playoffs, it's about matchups anyway and who you're playing next over the course of 4 to 7 games. And I think to your point, whoever Philly plays in the East right now, they have a legit chance. There's no question about that. As long as Joel Embiid plays all the games and doesn't have another appendectomy, just the most random of injuries, God bless his soul. But at the same time, like, bro, we need you on the court. We don't need like a bunion taking you out for 2 games.
Let's move over to what was the biggest sporting event in our country this weekend. It happened in your home state, the Kentucky Derby. I know nothing about horse racing, so I turn on NBC and I'm just sort of like, all right, tell me what I'm watching. Give me the stories. I don't know who anything is. And next thing you know, I'm watching Golden Tempo come from way far back and win what was a dramatic finish. We get history in Louisville, Kentucky. For people who don't understand why this wasn't just any Kentucky Derby, but actually a historic Kentucky Derby, explain to us what happened on Saturday.
Yeah, on multiple fronts, actually. But let's start with the trainer, Sherry DeVoe. Like, she's the first female trainer to ever train a Kentucky Derby winner. That is historic on so many levels because, look, the nature of our country has been exclusion on a lot of fronts, whether it's based on religion, race, or gender, right? And so this is one of the last ones to go into a heavy male-dominated sport like horse racing. And for her to have an opportunity to win the race is phenomenal. And then for her jockey, Jose Ortiz from Puerto Rico, that's another milestone that was reached with that win by Golden Tempo. And then you put together, Gary, just the overall performance of it. Now, look, this is not the first horse to go from last to first. It's happened a lot not a lot, but it's happened more times than not for it to be rare in the Kentucky Derby. But that just adds to the thrilling nature of it. And it beat the favorite at the wire to win it. So you get all these long shot aspects of the horse, and it comes to a thrilling conclusion, and it makes history in the process. Like, from a story making standpoint, you would be hard pressed to find another story. And I say this, and I said this last week about the Derby on another podcast, that whoever wins the Derby, there's always a great story, whether it's the jockeys, the owners, the trainer, somebody has a great story. Sometimes it's the horse himself who has a great story. And this one was not only just a great story, but it was historic as well. And oh, by the way, I'm going to add a couple of things for the So you had Donna Brothers, longtime jockey. She's been doing television forever. That was her last Kentucky Derby. She walked over with DeVoe. So now they had this moment where, you know, she hopes she wins, and she was glad that she was the last walkover for her. And oh, by the way, on NBC television, it was the highest rated Kentucky Derby of all time. And the producer was a woman. So you had all this just female empowerment coming together. And if you don't know anything about horse racing, you don't have to. You can appreciate good stories. And the 152nd runner of the Kentucky Derby had so many to choose from.
Terrific stuff. And before I get you out of here, I don't think I've ever asked you about a women's golfer or women's golf, and I don't talk about it very often. But Nelly Korda won again this weekend. After winning a major, she is an American. She is the #1 ranked women's golfer in the world. And yet, I think she could walk down Bill Street and maybe not get recognized.
Absolutely.
Okay, so like, help me understand this, because I've thought about this for a minute. It's not that we don't love women's sports. Caitlin Clark's a star. Asia Wilson's a star. It's not that we don't love women's individual sports. Serena Williams was a star. Why is Nelly Korda not a star in America?
Because the LPGA is not on major television enough.
Okay.
Most of the coverage in America is on the Golf Channel. It's not on NBC. It's not on CBS every weekend. And also, so many of their tournaments, they play a worldwide tour. It's a global tour. And so many of the tournaments are also not in the time window that sports fans consume sports in America. So are you going to get up at 2, 3 in the morning sometimes, or stay up late at night to watch Golf Channel's coverage from a tournament that's in Japan or South Korea or Australia or somewhere in Europe? Typically, no. That's just the answer. But she is by far one of the best golfers in the world, regardless of gender. I mean, she had a stretch a couple years ago where she was Scotty Scheffler. She won like 7 or 8 tournaments in a row. She was going for the all-time record. Then she had an injury, so she fell off a little bit by her standards. Now she's coming back to like, oh, that's the Nelly Korda. And if you ask PGA Tour players, Gary, there are so many guys on tour that would love her swing and her game. That's how good she is, and that's how much respect she has for all golfers, not just her fellow competitors on the LPGA Tour. It is a sport that I tell people all the time. If I don't care what gender you are, if you start from the proper place, and that means with somebody teaching you how to hold the club, where to put your feet, how to swing. Like, I've got a buddy, he put his daughter in golf lessons just because they wanted her to be in something. I want to be clear, she's not that good because she doesn't practice that much, but the first time she ever held a golf club, it was handed to her by an instructor, and if you just see her on the range, it looks beautiful. It's just like, I would trade swings with her in a second. And so you could, like, if you learn the right way, you can really go far with it. And Nelly Korda is just, it's picture perfect. Yeah, her sister Jessica is a really good golfer as well. She left the tour for a while to have a baby and start a family. Her father, of course, is Peter Korda, former professional tennis player, and her brother also is a really good athlete. So just the genes in that family are great. But yeah, Peter Korda, he was a huge golf fan as he played tennis, and he was the one that got them playing golf instead of tennis. And so she has that. But yeah, it starts early. And for the average golfer out there, don't try to emulate Scotty Scheffler. Don't try to emulate Rory McIlroy. You cannot. Go look at Nelly Korda. Right. Look at that swing. That's something you have a better chance of duplicating her game than the other guys, because they use power and all this other kind of stuff, where the women's about technique and flow. And if you're not built like some of those men on the PGA Tour, you have zero chance of being Brooks Koepka or Bryson DeChambeau. You have a much better chance of playing like a player on the LPGA Tour. That is Michael Eaves from ESPN. Make sure you're following him on X at Michael Eaves. That's at Michael Eaves. You're the best, buddy. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you next week. All right, sounds good. Bye-bye. Michael Eaves from ESPN. If Nelly Korda walked into this studio, would you know who it is, Bennett?
No.
Right. I would not. Okay, and his explanation makes sense. That's why I wanted to ask him, because, not on TV as much as you would maybe prefer if you're a women's golf fan. The time of the tournaments in different continents can play a role. But because she checks all these boxes. Like, it starts with she's Americans love American stars, right? Well, she's American. She's awesome. And we care about women who are awesome in sports in this country. We just do. I'm not saying we always have, but awesome women's soccer players become stars in this country. Awesome women's basketball players become stars in this country. Awesome women's tennis players become stars in this country. And arguably the best women's golfer in the world is from this country, Not for nothing. Like, she's an attractive woman. She's young. She checks all these boxes. And, like, she's just totally anonymous to most sports fans. Like, most people don't have any concept of who she is. Like, I think I could text my wife right now and say, you ever heard of Nelly Corda? And she didn't have no, she might think it's a brand. Is that a brand? Is that some sort of suit you want? And it's just like, why don't people know this woman? I think his explanation is as good as any. But if Nelly Corda was the number one ranked women's tennis player in the world, she'd be one of the 10 most famous athletes in this country. But because it's golf, nobody knows who she is. But you can't just explain that by saying, well, one's tennis and one is golf, because men's golfers are famous. Rory McIlroy is super famous. Scottie Scheffler is super famous. Brooks Koepka is super famous. Bryson DeChambeau is super famous. Nelly Corda's not.
I think it's just the LPGA just doesn't have a big enough following.
People just do not follow it at all. At least in women's tennis, like, we follow the majors. Like, people watch the French Open.
For sure.
People watch Wimbledon. You don't watch the women's majors in golf.
No.
Nobody does. Nobody even know. Like, there are people, like, I'm sitting there going, why don't people even know? People have never even seen her hold a golf club. People have never even seen her on their television. She's never been on most people's television at all for not a second. That's a problem. But she's awesome. She won again this weekend. Congrats to her. We come back. Oh, we got a whole bunch of stuff to turn our attention to, including Ice Cube putting LeBron James in his scope.
How about that?
Ice Cube comes to downtown Memphis, takes up for the city of Memphis, says NBA players like LeBron James, they should never forget where they came from. I'll share Ice Cube's sentiments with you. We'll do that next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Get ready, Grizzlies fans. It is time for the Surfside Can Shuffle. Can you keep up with the cans and find Mac the Crab?
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
New Amsterdam Vodka is an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies. It's the only exceptionally smooth vodka that is 5 times distilled, 3 times filtered, and rated 93 points. New Amsterdam believes wins big and small become legendary when you celebrate them with your crew. So here's to the blue, white, and gold, the Memphis grit and grind, and reliving winning moments big and small with Tennessee's favorite basketball team. New Amsterdam Vodka. Find your wins.
Eaves making money thanks to the new CBA.
Incredible stuff.
Her
good stuff.
Rookie contract. She is projected to make $500,000 this year, and just in comparison, Paige made $78,000 last year, and Caitlin Clark made $76,000.
Anytime we get workers getting paid what they're worth, I'm all for it.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Junior Grizzlies summer camps presented by Ortho South are the key to a slam dunk summer with over a dozen 4-day camps perfect for hoopers ages 6 to 14 looking to build fundamental skills and make unforgettable memories. With camps across the Mid-South in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas, you won't have to go far for the ultimate hoops experience this summer. Registration comes with a Junior Grizzlies jersey, lunchbox, and a basketball to take home. Don't wait, space is limited. Visit grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies today to secure a spot for a fun-filled summer. That's grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies.
Injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled. And Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's Ortho South at orthosouth.org. Now, I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Ice Cube's got our back, Bennett.
Good.
Ice Cube's got the back.
That means something to me.
Of the city of Memphis. You know Ice Cube.
I do know him, yes.
He was downtown this weekend.
Yes, he was in the, I believe, won the Razzie Award for worst film of the year with War of the Worlds.
Well, you have to bring that up, Bennett. Good Lord.
Well, it's still an award.
It is wild. Like it is wild on some level that there is a point in time where if you would have tried to explain to somebody, one day, Snoop Dogg is going to be like America's mascot.
Mm-hmm.
Just on TV, network stuff.
Olympics coverage.
Just everything.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg will be like America's granddad.
Mm-hmm.
Like Uncle Snoop will just be everywhere and everybody will love. Snoop Dogg will be the most lovable person in America. And Ice Cube will do kids' movies. The dude from NWA is going to do kids' movies. Mm-hmm. And Snoop Dogg, the guy who just beat a murder charge, is going to be America's mascot on the Olympic stage. Yeah. How? Isn't that crazy?
Gotta have a good personality prevails.
Life is long is what it does tell you.
Yeah, for sure.
You can take a lot of twists and turns in a life and in a career. And I think Ice Cube might be a decent example of that. Anyway, he was downtown this weekend. Riverbeat Festival. And he defended the city. You know what he said on stage into a microphone?
What'd he say?
He said, some NBA players been talking shit about Memphis. F that. But he didn't use just F. He used all the letters you need to complete that word.
I like that, simple, to the point.
I got nothing but love for Memphis. He said NBA players, they should never forget where they came from, which, in all seriousness, is like a sentiment serious people made about LeBron James when he said what he said about Memphis. Like, bro, you are a poor black kid from Akron, Ohio. You're from Memphis. I know they call it Akron, Ohio, but you're way more from Memphis than you are from Nashville. And to see you all these years later on a golf course with a bunch of people who look like me talking about you never want to go back to Memphis, just take me to Nashville, it's just not a good look. And that's more or less the sentiment from like, don't forget where you're from, man. Don't forget who you are. That kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I like Ice Cube doing that.
Me too.
I wanted to see him on Saturday night. I just didn't plan well.
Oh, did you go?
I was at Riverbeat Festival on Saturday.
Okay.
But we were gone. I was back home in my chair by the time Ice Cube took the stage. I tried to get out. I'll just tell you what happened. You mind? You got a minute?
I got a minute, yeah.
Okay. So on Saturday, and I know you guys had a tough weekend as well. You had the...
Oh, yeah, we did. Oh, it wasn't a tough week. It was actually a nice weekend. We had a big celebration of life for my wife's dad, and so we had, like, her family came in from Buffalo and the Carolinas and all over the country, so I'm setting up stuff and going back and forth from the airport and stuff, so I didn't get to go.
Either way, what I mean is, even a celebration of life can be hard.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
And so, my point is that I was at a funeral this weekend too.
Mm.
And so it was a Saturday morning funeral. It was a service. It was beautiful as well.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife tends to work on Saturdays, and typically we're, baseball tournaments and stuff. But for whatever reason, no baseball tournament this weekend. Wife's working, and I got out of the service, and I was just like, I guess I can just go sit at home all day, but that feels, I don't know. I need to be outside. I felt like I need to get outside. Like whatever that means, I don't need to sit in this house all day. And so then I was like, let's just try to make a day of it. Like we can stay here and we can play a little basketball for a minute in the front yard, and then we can go upstairs and play ping pong for a minute, and we can you can jump on the PS5 for a minute, and I can watch the NBA playoffs, and this will just be a day that happens, and it'll be fine. But it'll just be a day that happens. Like, let's just go try. I need to get out of the house. Let's go try to do something. So I said, I got home from the service, and I said, hey, showers and clothes. and then we're leaving. They said, where we're going? I said, I think we might go to a music festival, but I don't know. Just get ready and take a hoodie because it might get a little chilly. That wind blowing off the river. And so we got all dressed, and I said, let's just go downtown and we'll just see what we get into. Let's just go popping around. So we parked here at FedEx Forum, me, Lou, and Oliver. And we walked. I said, let's just walk and see what we get into. And I said, what is the most Bill Streety thing you could do on a Saturday afternoon when the weather's pretty nice? I think it's sit on the patio at Silky's. That's a pretty Bill Streety thing to do. Like a good Saturday afternoon sitting on the patio.
Sit there by the goats. And,
just sit by. And I thought, honestly, the boys would like the goats and that kind of stuff.
The goats are cool.
The goats are cool. And so I said, well, you know what? Let's get a table for 3 on the patio at Silky's. There's a man there. He's got a hat on. He's got a guitar in his hands. And so he's just singing songs, playing guitar. Been a while since I'd sat on a patio and watched a man or a woman strum a guitar and sing familiar songs. So I was like, all right, this is a good time. Let's do that. So we did that for a minute, and then I said, all right, guys, you ready to go to the music festival? We already had our drinks and our food. We even got desserts. Got like a nice little fudge pie there on the patio at Silky's. And I said, all right, guys, y'all ready? Let's go experience the music festival. And it was like 1:30 at this point. The thing doesn't even open until 3. I didn't plan very well at all. I didn't look at what time gates open and all that stuff. I just thought we'll get downtown and everything will be popping. We were early. We got down here too early. So now we're just killing time, right? Mm-hmm. So if the gates opened at 3, and they did, we were in there by 3:01. We got in there pretty good. And, we walked around. We did the whole walk down Tom Lee. We did the whole thing. We got Mem Pops because why wouldn't you? Did the Ferris wheel. And I got them out there too early. It was just a long, and I could tell they were starting, sun beating down on them a little bit, and I could tell they were getting a little bored because they wanted to see Ice Cube. They wanted to see Wu-Tang, but we were hours away from that still.
Yep.
And so I said, hey, I had a plan. And this is an issue with the festival. This is my only complaint. It was beautiful. I'm glad we went. I wish we could have stayed longer. It looked great. Everything was perfect. Everybody was great. We had a blast while we were there. But we would have been there longer if they would have allowed re-entry. Like, you go to Coachella, you can leave Coachella and say, I'll be back in a few hours, and you can come back in a few hours. And you could not do that this weekend at Riverbeat Festival, at least not with the tickets that we had, because I asked. And I just couldn't keep them out in a park all day with music that they have no interest in without them getting bored at some point. It happened pretty quickly. Whereas my plan was, I actually looked at them and I said, hey, there's the little golf simulator place down here. Why don't we go get something to drink? You guys can hit golf balls for a little while and like get inside for a minute, and then we'll kill 2 hours, hour and a half in there. Then we can go back to the festival. They were excited about that. But they said, no reentry. You leave, you're gone. And I said, there's no coming back in. They said, nope, you leave, you're gone.
Oh, yeah, I'd definitely figure that out.
And I said, I mean, I guess I could have like tried to figure it out, but I was just like, I wasn't trying to break rules. I was just like,
no, the festival should definitely figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, that's a real problem. I'm telling you, we left your festival hours earlier than we otherwise would have, just because my boys got bored. But if we could have just left and come back, we 100% would have done that. We would have gone. I'd have let them hit some golf balls, let them get a something, whatever, a little snack, and then we'd have come back and we'd have settled in, and they'd have got to see Ice Cube. But once we were told, if you leave, you can't go, I could just see the look on their little faces. They were like, they were not going to say, Dad, can we leave? Because they could see the look on my face too. Like I was trying to make a day of this, right? But I knew, I could tell, I know my boys, I could tell that they weren't going to say, Dad, can we leave? But they weren't going to stop me if I said, hey guys, let's get going. So I just got them out of there. So I wish we would have had re-entry options. Perhaps that's an improvement for the future. So we didn't get to see Ice Cube. We didn't get to see Wu-Tang. But we did get to walk around Tom Lee Park and experience the festival.
Nice.
And it was nice. It was just a nice day. We had a nice day in downtown Memphis, and then I gather Ice Cube defended our fine city later on that night. And then, of course, Dave Matthews headlines and closes the thing on Sunday night. And by all accounts, let's credit where credit is due. Not every time where we have big things, Sometimes you wake up on a Monday and it's like, ugh, something not great happened. And best I can tell, this was an awesome weekend in downtown Memphis for everybody who participated in it. 3 of whom were me and my 2 youngest sons. So we had a blast. Shouts to Ice Cube. I hope everybody else had a good time.
Number 2.
Diego Pavia worked out with the Baltimore Ravens for the first time this weekend. And after his performance, which was obviously the biggest thing connected to like this rookie mini camp, Jesse Minter, Baltimore's coach, said the following when asked about Diego Pavia. He said, Diego, just like a lot of the undrafted free agents, is trying to make his mark. This guy, again, I know the program at Vanderbilt where he came from. I know a lot of people that worked with him. Kind of what I think he is as a person, really, really hard worker. I think he really helped elevate that program in the SEC, playing against really good competition. And so now he's in the door here, and it's like, show us what you can do, and then we'll let the chips fall where they may. So Jesse Minter, son of course, former Cincinnati head coach Rick Minter. First time I ever heard Jesse Minter's name, I was like, I wonder if he's related to Rick Minter, because at a college, at the Commercial Appeal, among my early assignments as like a Memphis beat writer would be during football season, I think I would do like a weekly Conference USA football roundup. Something.
Oh, fun.
I don't know. And you'd write, you jump on the Conference USA football coaches conference call.
Yep.
And, you'd gather stuff out of that and put a notebook together. And I just remember writing about Rick. I just remember like jumping on the Conference USA conference call and be like, Gary Parrish from the Commercial Appeal, do you have a question for Rick Minter? I'd be like, hey, Coach Minter. So Jesse Minter's his son. Anyway, I think it's interesting the part he says about Vanderbilt. It's not like we just watch this guy and he's amazing, or we like him for, various reasons. It's like, I know a lot of people at Vanderbilt. He more or less said, I ain't got friends who work there. And we're doing this after I had conversations with them. In other words, Pavia has a reputation from an outsider's perspective of being all of these things that might make an NFL franchise go, yeah, we don't need it. But what Jesse Minter seemed to be suggesting there is that if you talk to the people who work with him every day, they're not as put off by the other stuff as you might be from a distance. Because you know what they see up close? Guy works hard. Natural leader of people. And elevated that program. Like, he made Vanderbilt matter.
Yep.
He went to New York as a Heisman finalist at Vanderbilt. Like, what? None of this stuff is supposed to be possible. So what Jesse Minter seems to be tapping into there is, we'll see where this goes. He's a rookie who's 5'10". We'll see where it goes. But when I talk to my friends in Nashville who have been around this guy every day, not looked at his Instagram stories, but been around him every day and seen the impact he makes on other people, his teammates, that locker room, I hear good things. And so show us what you can do. But the reason he's here is because there's some interesting stuff there that when I talk to people who actually know him, makes me think maybe we can find something here. So he's on a 3-year contract now. I mean, there's all sorts of outs and whatever. It's not the type of 3-year contract in any sort of traditional sense, but he's getting a shot. He wanted a shot. It didn't come with him being selected in the draft, but he wanted a shot, and he's now getting it in Baltimore, and we'll see if his second weekend is any more encouraging than his first.
Number 3.
Rest in peace, Spirit Airlines.
Man.
34 years.
It took me by surprise this weekend.
Man, it took a lot of people by surprise, including thousands who were holding tickets to get on planes. Do you realize, like, if you planned your family vacation for Saturday morning, there's a scenario where you went to bed on Friday night, bags packed, and we're like, hey, kids, now tomorrow, remember, we got to get up early. We're going to the airport because we're going to wherever we're going. Like, if you were in Memphis, there was one Spirit Airlines flight, daily back and forth to Orlando.
Yes.
Okay? So you're going to Orlando for Disney. It's your kids, taking your kids to Disney World. Hey, remember, tomorrow morning's the morning. Been looking forward to it. Oh, man, can't wait. You went to bed, you woke up, and like Spirit Airlines, when you wake up, it no longer exists. Hey, we're supposed to go to the airport and get on a plane. Yes, that does not exist anymore. Like, if you were supposed to get up this morning and go to McDonald's, but suddenly there was no McDonald's anymore. They just didn't exist. There's just no more McDonald's. You want a sausage McMuffin? Too bad. Nowhere in the world to get one anymore. It's over. That's what happened to Spirit Airlines. Gone the way of the dodo.
I saw, obviously Spirit takes a lot of flack, right? They did.
It is a low budget.
Yes.
I don't know. Is low budget? Is that a proper term? Low budget. That seems like maybe I shouldn't have said it that way. It is a cost efficient.
People got their jokes off about Spirit over the years.
Yeah, because
there's a lot of viral videos that came off of Spirit Airlines flights.
People like to fist fight on Spirit Airlines flight.
Yeah, but I did see this, and I was like, man, you know what? That's a great. Somebody was like, people can get their jokes off them and say whatever they want about Spirit Airlines. They're one of the only airlines that never had any mechanical issues.
Well, of course they had mechanical issues, but they never. Never had crashes that resulted in.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
They never had any crashes. They never had any bad accidents or anything like that in the history of their airlines. So for that, we give them credit.
Yeah, okay. So, hey, was it, did they have the best meals on their flights? Probably not. Could you get attacked by another passenger? Perhaps. But are they going to crash? No. And hey, that's good enough sometimes.
Yeah, man.
You ever been on Spirit Airlines?
I never have. I
don't think I did either.
Not by choice. I have the Southwest credit card, and so I try to fly Southwest as much as possible to get the points. That's really it.
You don't got to talk to me about points. I got the Delta credit card.
Yeah, so I just try as much as I can book Southwest. I try to do that as much as possible, but I ain't got no problem flying Spirit.
Oh, I would have a problem flying.
Look at me. Why would I care?
You look like you should be on Spirit.
I would, without question, fly Spirit.
I mean, I'd put you
I saw people were pissed too because people racked up points with Spirit too.
Oh yeah.
That would honestly be worse than losing your vacation to me.
Losing all your points?
Bro, that's brutal. Tough. Can people not recoup those in some way?
I don't know.
Can the other airlines take them on?
I don't know.
That would hurt. You work so hard for those and just gone like that.
Rising cost of jet fuel prices.
Okay, that makes sense. We're all dealing with that. $4.20, I believe, was what I was looking at this weekend when I filled up. Yikes. Yeah. So
my wife went to the beach yesterday, and I told her, just take my car because it's electric. Till we get that straight open, you don't need to be driving all the way to the beach and with fuel prices. Mm-hmm. And so I'm in her car now. And I had to stop yesterday and get gas for the first time in a year. Mm-hmm. I don't go to gas stations anymore. I don't know what it's like to get gas anymore. But
about the same.
Yeah, it feels about the same.
More expensive.
It's about the same, just more expensive.
Yeah.
Did we not know we were going to kill Spirit Airlines when we started this war in Iran?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if we thought everything through.
I don't know if we thought everything through.
It's starting to look like maybe we didn't think this through too much. Do you think we knew the Strait of Hormuz existed when we started this thing?
I did not know about it till recently.
How funny is that?
I know.
We are all just living over here, just being dumb every day. And there's this whole very important body of water, and none of us even knew.
I wasn't familiar with the Strait of Hormuz.
None of us even knew anything. Like we know the Mississippi River and the Wolf River and the Gulf of Mexico that they now call Gulf of America. Mm-hmm. And that's about all we know about bodies of water. That we don't know.
That's the extent of my knowledge.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
I had no idea there was an important strait over there. And it sounds like maybe we didn't quite properly understand that as well as we needed to, because now Spirit Airlines is dead.
Although, when I fly, ticket prices are pretty astronomical. And so I do wonder how a budget-friendly airlines was staying afloat these days. When the other airlines are charging this and that airline's charging this, I'm like, wait a second. And everybody's still flying these other. How is this?
Well, this is bad for me, and not because I lose Spirit Airlines. I don't care about Spirit Airlines. All right? I mean, rest in peace and all that, but it doesn't affect my life except for in this way. Spirit Airlines offering cost-efficient prices in some ways forced Delta, United, American to, come down a little bit. Mm-hmm. It played a role in that. You have to pay attention to that. And then secondly, and this is the one I saw a bunch of Delta patrons complaining about online. I kept quiet. I didn't think this was appropriate. But this is what I read.
What happened?
Delta came out and said, hey, if you are stuck somewhere, you had a ticket for a Spirit Airlines flight like this weekend, and You just stuck.
Oh.
Call us.
The elitist Delta passengers didn't want to mingle with the common man.
And so Delta was like, hey, we can help you guys. Call us. We'll do capped prices, and like, we're not trying to, price gouge you. Just call us. We can help you. And then the Delta customers were like, the reason we fly Delta is because we don't want to fly with Spirit Airline patrons. And now you're bringing them over to our flights. Now we've got to go to somewhere else. How you feel about that?
That just seems like a first world problem.
Yeah, I didn't feel like that was appropriate.
That feels like an elitist Delta passenger.
That's why I just kept quiet.
Yeah.
That's why I just kept quiet.
Probably better.
I didn't feel like I didn't feel like I could wake up this morning thinking I'm too good to be flying next to a Spirit customer.
Right.
But I understand the sentiment. I know where it's coming from,
No, I don't.
I mean, there's a lot of fist fight videos.
And that's something we're going to lose.
Now that's how
this whole thing.
That's how it impacts my life, because I watch them all.
Yeah.
I watch those fist fight videos.
I'll miss Spirit.
Did the Strait of Hormuz cost us fist fight videos? Have we examined that yet?
I don't know.
It looks like our inability to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed is going to end up, a lot of unintended consequences, but one of them is going to end up being a lack of fistfights between passengers on airplanes. Did Secretary Hegseth think this through?
I'm not so sure.
All fun and games until you're sitting around scrolling Instagram and being like, where are all the plane fights?
Mm-hmm.
Just going to have to watch the old ones.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Anyway, rest in peace to Spirit Airlines.
Yeah, I wish I would have flown. Just never got an opportunity to, and now never will.
Well, Bennett.
Hopefully we'll get another budget-friendly airline to take their place, but I'm assuming that there will be no such thing as budget-friendly airlines anymore.
I don't know. Rising jet fuel price. Hard to be budget-friendly with rising.
I think our days of flying budget-friendly are out the window.
Hard to have a budget-friendly airline. Hard to have a budget-friendly airline when you can't keep a strait open. I gather. But at least no trans swimmers are racing against girls or something,
Okay.
Hey, at least you don't stumble into a bathroom and maybe see somebody you don't want to see. But gas prices are $4.20, but at least you ain't watching
We'll get them back down.
At least you ain't watching a swimming race you're uncomfortable with. But congratulations on your gas prices.
All right.
Hey, somebody's going to need this. $2 million lottery tickets sold in Pavia. You can buy $4 4 gallons of gas with it.
That'll get you through at least like a year.
That'll get you through like a week of gas.
Yeah.
$2 million lottery tickets sold in Pavia, Mississippi on Wednesday. You want to know why this is a story? Nobody's claimed it. Do they know they have it, or are they just being patient with it?
Man, I mean, it is Pavia. I wonder if they know that they have it.
Might not even know they have it.
Yeah, I think
I F with Pavia. I ride around Pavia sometimes.
Pavia straight. I don't know, man.
I rock with Pavia.
I would be too excited to hold off on anything. Like, that's craziness to me. There's no way anyone's holding off.
Here's the thing. In my desk right now, I just have old lottery tickets that I just don't even know.
That is what this is.
I'm not operating under the idea that I have a dollar's worth of money in my desk in lottery, but every time it's like sometimes I'm looking for a battery and I can't find a battery, but I'll find an old lottery ticket. Maybe I should clean out my desk. Is that what you're looking at me like?
Yeah.
Clean out your desk a little bit.
So.
But like, that's not crazy to me to be like, I bought a lottery ticket and then I just forgot I bought it. And now you're just holding $2 million and it's in your glove compartment in your car. You think that's what's going on? Because like, who in Pavia, with all due respect to Pavia, who in Pavia is so comfortable they can just be sitting on $2 million?
It's a fair point. Yeah.
I ride around Pavia sometimes. I don't see a lot of people that look like they should be comfortable.
They got $2 million.
Well, maybe. Actually, that is one of the big misconceptions.
I was gonna say, like
in Mississippi,
yeah,
it'll be the
rich people like to go live off the grid, like in the their little area.
Oh no, it'll be the good old boy with boots on and a big belt buckle, and that guy owns 7 dump trucks and is worth $50 million.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I grew up with people like that. Like they have like incredible, like real wealth. And it's like, what do you do? So you ever hear about so-and-so? I'm like, yeah, how's he doing? Oh my God. He's built a $30 million ranch. Oh, where'd he get that kind of money? Moves dirt. What do you mean moves dirt? Like takes dirt from one place and puts it in another place. Apparently you make a lot of money doing that. Should have been dirt movers.
Sounds awesome.
Just moving dirt around?
That sounds awesome.
I know people who do it.
I do wish I would. Think
about this. You could be just driving a bulldozer, listening to whatever you want to listen to, moving dirt around.
That sounds incredible.
Getting rich. Instead, you have to sit here and look at me like you care about any of this shit I'm saying.
In a different life, I would definitely love to get rich off like delivering things.
I will tell you this.
That is like, because that's what I did forever in college, was a delivery driver, and it was the best.
The only jobs I've ever had outside of the umbrella of journalism. My first job was bagging groceries at Kroger, and I hated that.
Yeah,
because you had to deal with people, and I didn't like doing that. So I hated that job. You know what job I loved? Delivering pizzas.
Yeah, man.
Because it was a lot of alone time. It was like
listen to whatever you want.
It was really pick up 5 orders, get in my car, and I'm alone for the next hour. And I can listen to whatever I want, and I can think about whatever I want. I don't have to deal with people. I don't have to. The most I have to do is knock on a door, say, "Hey, here's your pizza. Thank you." That's it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you. That's all you got to do. It's very limited interactions. I don't know that I would have been good at like bartending or being a server or any of the types of. Do you notice like this is as I've thought through it, almost all of my jobs allow me to just be by myself. Like
be secluded.
Yeah, I'm just sort of I think through it I don't really have to work with anybody. Like I don't. If I'm writing a column, it's me. I don't have to really work. Like a lot of jobs, you go in, you got to work with other people. You know, you got to work with other people. I don't really have to work with anybody in any sort of meaningful way. And that dates all the. I think I realized I was seeking those things out even before I knew I was doing it. I was like 18, 19 years old looking for those. Like I'd rather do. Why did I deliver pizzas instead of bartend? I think I liked being by myself, and that gave me an opportunity. Bartender, you're never by yourself. Pizza delivery guy, always by yourself. And so you could be on a bulldozer by yourself, just moving dirt around in your own little world. It actually does sound kind of nice.
It does sound good.
It sounds
I think it's a little more complicated than that, but
I have similarly thought about, like I have romanticized the job of like truck driver.
Yeah.
Like I could get down with being a truck driver, I think, because it'd just be like, I'm just going to listen to whatever I want to listen to and see the. I mean, I'm sure I'd get bored or whatever.
I'm not trying to drive an 18-wheeler.
I'm not trying to drive an 18-wheeler either, but I'm like, if you told me my options were get up, go into an office and work with other people from 9 to 5 every day, or just drive a truck and sit by myself, I'd rather be by myself and drive a truck. I think that's true.
It's a fun job.
Anyway, there's a $2 million ticket down in Byhalia floating around. So you got to check your tickets. Did you buy a lottery ticket in the past week from Byhalia, Mississippi?
I did not.
I did not either.
Although there was one that hit, I think it was like $100,000 or something like that, and it was at a gas station that I frequent and have bought lottery tickets from before. And I didn't that time, but I was just like, damn, man. See, this is why you got to buy them every week.
That's why you got to buy them every week.
Yeah, as many as you can. Yeah.
That's how they get you. They trick you into thinking.
Like, that's my gas station. That should have been my ticket.
Yeah. They trick you to.
Yeah.
You realize even most people who could, like, not even, like, of course you can believe this is just, like, people have this thought in their head. Like, I have to be involved in this because what if? And you'll just die thinking that same thing. Nothing will. It'll never go the way you want it to go, and you'll just die still wondering, well, what if this is the week? And it'll never.
I don't think I've ever matched 3 numbers.
No, it's impossible.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever come anywhere close.
It's impossible.
Yeah, I think maybe I've gotten like 1 number.
Yeah, like every once in a while I get 1 number.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, stop. But somebody's holding $2 million down in Byhalia. So if you're in the area, check your tickets. You could be rich right now.
Yep.
Number 5.
May the 4th. It's May the 4th.
It is. I mean, we had to say something about it. Got the Star Wars hat on.
It's Star Wars Day. How do you celebrate? You plan to celebrate?
Yeah, how I do every year. I will, we'll pop some popcorn and sit in front of the TV, and we will throw on a movie.
Will you really? You will watch a Star Wars film tonight?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, even though tonight we got NBA playoff games. Mm-hmm. We've got, I think, a Netflix comedy special with Kevin Hart, the roast of Kevin Hart. I think no, maybe that's next week. I think that's next week.
Yep.
But it's a Monday night, and you will really turn on the Star Wars movie tonight.
I absolutely will.
Okay.
It's always been a big part of my life, man. It's like something that I was just obsessed with as a kid. Had all the action figures, and I can vividly remember like one of like the core memories of my childhood, because the first time I actually saw Star Wars, or the original A New Hope, I believe was on like TNT, just on like a little small box TV. They used to play those. I don't know if I don't think they do anymore, but they used to play those movies. It was like it'd be like Star Wars.
So
and
you
Ferris
came in.
Bueller's Day Off.
So you were late to the game. You didn't start with Star Wars.
Yeah. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Yep.
Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. You started with those?
Yes, the original trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now they didn't come out. I was born after.
I know, but I lived through all that.
Yeah.
So I was the Star Wars kid too. Like I had all the action figures, everything, all of it. Loved all the movies. And then by the time they picked it back up,
yeah, the prequel trilogy,
I just never connected. Just never. And I say this all the time. I've seen the first 3 Star Wars films from my childhood 50 times each. Yep. There was a time in my life I knew every word to every scene. And I have never seen a single Star Wars thing after any of that. And I've often wondered, we probably have this conversation every year on this day. I think I've spent more time over the years explaining to people how I used to love Star Wars, but then got disconnected and never went back to it. I think I've spent more time explaining that on May 4th every year than it would take for me to just go watch it all and be like, yeah, I watched it all. I've seen every Star Wars thing there is to watch.
So
is it a good use of my time?
Hell, I mean, I think so.
I would have to.
It's coming from someone who like obsesses over this stuff. So, I mean, I would say yes.
If I showed it to my kids, if I said tonight, we're watching the original Star Wars tonight, would they think this is cool, or would they think this looks like it's 1,000 years old?
That's interesting, because like A New Hope, the original Star Wars, that one is kind of more campy, and then it gets darker with like Empire Strikes Back, and that's like obviously one of the most famous movies of all time, and it's my favorite movie of all time. But I do wonder, like, maybe that's what we'll watch tonight, because I try to intrigue my kids with like the cartoons and like the newer stuff, because it's modern looking, and we need to start it because Miles hasn't watched any of them, so we need to probably start from the beginning tonight. But yeah, I wonder. That's what I would do. I would watch that with your kids and see what they think,
because there's like I've tried to reach back in certain times and like, hey, this is like when Robert Redford died. I think we watched The Natural that night. I bought The Natural and we streamed The Natural that night, and it just felt very dated.
Old, yeah.
It just looked it. And
I mean, there's obviously so much Star Wars content now that you can watch. You can obviously watch modern stuff. But there is a story with the movies. Like if you're just going movies, like obviously there's a story to follow.
All right. All right. I don't think I'm going to watch Star Wars tonight. But
you didn't like the prequels. You didn't dabble.
I just never. It's like it's not even like I can't even say I didn't like them. I have no. It's like you're asking me if I like a food that I've never tasted.
See, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, came out when I was in 5th or 6th grade, and so that was just like I mean, at that age, that's like the biggest thing of all time. Like I saw it in theater 3 times.
And so 5th or 6th grade is going to be like 12.
Yeah.
So when you were 12, I was 22.
Yeah. So, okay, you're like, this is for kids or something. Yeah.
I was trying to get bitches.
Yeah.
In the bars. You're watching Star Wars like a nerd. All right.
I still am. I still am.
So I just missed all that. I just missed it on. I never reconnected.
Yeah.
But maybe I will someday. But I don't think today will be the day. I think today I'm going to try
Well, it's Star Wars Day, for God's sakes.
I know, but I think I'm going to try to connect with the Knicks and Sixers tonight.
You got more than one television. You can put Knicks and Sixers on the side.
Okay, how about this? I'll turn it on, and we'll see. I'll see if my boys.
We got a Star Wars movie coming out in a couple weeks too. Mandalorian and Grogu.
Dang.
Yeah, it's the first movie in theaters in years, actually.
All right.
So
that stresses me.
We're not for lack of content.
All right, I'll think. I'm gonna think about it.
They probably dig the Mandalorian. I mean, that's a great show that's on Disney Plus.
I'm gonna have to think about it.
Okay.
You're gonna have to give me time to think about it.
Okay.
But I am gonna think about it.
All right. Do you have an order that you want to go in? Can I make a recommendation?
I will accept your recommendation.
Yeah, the way you have to do it is obviously original trilogy, and this isn't the order of the story. But you want to go original trilogy, prequel trilogy, sequel trilogy. Which there's actually rumors out now.
Look how happy you get.
I know. There's actually rumors going around that Disney might like erase and redo the sequel trilogy. That they might just erase this one from memory. And
was it bad?
No, the first 2 are really good to me. Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. I love both those movies. And there was like a lot of blowback about The Last Jedi. It was a very controversial movie, just the way that they did the story, and people thought that it was going to go one way and it kind of went this way, and people were like, what are we doing here? And Disney, I think they got too in their heads about it. They weren't letting creative people be creative, and so they were like, no, scrap that. We're going to finish the story this way. And The Rise of Skywalker, the third one, was just bad.
Oh,
and
no.
I was one of those people that like defended it at first. Like when it came out, I was like, it was pretty good. I liked it. And then I rewatch it multiple times and I hate it. It's not good.
All right. Well, that didn't help. That didn't help making me watch something that you hate.
Yeah.
That didn't help.
Well, that's 1 movie out of 6 I just gave you.
All right. Then how about this? I'm going to continue to think about it.
Okay.
I'm going to continue to contemplate.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Sounds good.
We'll be back with Carrie.
Azie's making money thanks to the new CBA.
Incredible stuff.
Good
stuff.
Rookie contract. She is projected to make $500,000 this year, and just in comparison, Paige made $78,000 last year, and Caitlin Clark made $76,000.
Anytime we get workers getting paid what they're worth, I'm all for it.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizzlies, take your fandom to the next level by becoming an MVP.
How long have you been an MVP?
Since day one.
Enjoy the great benefits of being a season ticket member. Pre-game MVP moments, including Autograph Alley, exclusive Grizz gear deals, access to member or MVP-only player events, and much more.
He's been an MVP for 22 years!
Become a Grizzlies MVP today.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Each challenge is unique, so each game plan is customized to identify opportunity and the path to victory. It's true in basketball, it's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle with personalized planning and advice. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by May 30th, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Giving you a chance to win free Sonic. Just hit the link pinned in the YouTube chat. If you're watching on YouTube, you see it right now. Hit that link to enter for a free Sonic gift card. Jump into the chat, hang with us, and maybe even eat free Sonic too. That's in the chat right now for a free Sonic gift card. Let's do carry out.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
Since we've been talking, Rick Barnes been in the transfer portal, got a commitment from Juke Harris, a high-scoring guard from Wake Forest. He averaged 21.4 points, 6.5 rebounds per game for Steve Forbes' Demon Deacons this past season. Next season, he is going to be a Vol. So Tennessee was already 17th in my top 25 and 1 over at CBSSports.com. I will update it a little later on this afternoon. The Vols will obviously move up.
What's today's biggest game?
We're going to the NBA, Bennett.
Okay.
We got a couple of game ones tonight. Let's focus on the East. Sixers, Knicks, 7 o'clock on NBC. They're doing it live at MSG. The Knicks are listed 7.5-point favorites. The total is 213.5. How you gonna act?
I think I'm gonna go. Golly, 7.5. I mean, I'll go Knicks because it's a quick turnaround for the Sixers.
It feels like blowout,
Yeah.
like quick turnaround. You were just in Boston fighting for your life, and then you got to go straight to New York, and you're walking into
Hornets
Timothy
nest,
Chalamet and Kylie Jenner tonight. And
are they? I saw something. It might have been fake. It had to have been fake. They're not
expecting?
No. I don't even want to put it in the air because I don't want to.
Are you suggesting that Timothy Chalamet has impregnated Kylie Jenner?
I saw something, but it might have been fake.
I hope that's fake.
Why? Why would you hope that's fake? I root for a happy couple.
Okay, I hope it's real then. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if it's. That's why I didn't say anything because that's one of those that you want to be careful.
Tonight's the Met Gala. So what does Kylie do?
Maybe that's why the rumors are going around.
This might be a
big reveal.
This might be a split. This might be a split date night. Hey, baby, you go do what you need to do. I'm gonna go do what I need to do. Okay, Bennett, you're Timothy Chalamet, and I'm Kylie Jenner. I'll just be Kylie Jenner for a second, if you don't mind. We love each other very much. Tonight, the only thing in the world I want to do is watch my New York Knicks. The only thing in the world you want to do is watch your New York Knicks play the Sixers in Game 1 of the second round series. I'm Kylie Jenner. The only thing I want to do is go to the Met Gala because I'm Kylie Jenner. That's where I belong. What do we do? Split up? Do you think we split up tonight?
These are all fake. This is clearly fake accounts that are doing this.
Thank you for bringing up something that wasn't real and then spending minutes learning that it wasn't real.
No, I don't.
We split up. We split up tonight. Do you go to the basketball game and I go to the Met Gala, or do I pull you away from the basketball game, ask you to come to the Met Gala with me, or do you pull me away from the Met Gala and ask me to go to the basketball game with you? How are we going to do this?
I think it just all depends on what type of aura farming Timothy wants to do tonight.
What do you think?
Like he can either do it on the front row of MSG or at the Met Gala. It just depends on what kind of mood he's in.
Prediction based on nothing. Timothy Chalamet will be at the Garden. Kylie Jenner will be at the Met Gala. They'll meet up later in the night.
But there won't be any special unveiling tonight.
I don't think they're going to unveil anything.
Okay.
I think they'll probably he'll watch a basketball game.
It appears fake.
He'll go to a basketball game. She'll go to the Met Gala. And they'll reconvene at the Ritz at Central Park and cuddle and go to sleep, I would assume.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. Anyway, Knicks laying the 7.5. That's what you think?
I think so.
All right.
What are we watching on TV?
Hey, so do you watch Saturday Night Live? How often do I ask you, do you watch Saturday Night Live? And how often do you tell me an answer to that question?
So when people ask me if I watch Saturday Night Live, I can't think of the last time I sat down and watched an episode of Saturday Night Live, but I consume so much Saturday Night Live content. You know, like I probably see a clip from that show every week, like a sketch from that show every week, and the musical performance. Like a lot of times you can find it on YouTube or where. So I say yes, I watch it, but I haven't sat down and just watched a full episode start to finish in a long time just on my television.
I still enjoy Saturday Night Live.
I do too.
Like, I enjoy it. Like,
but don't you think that that's how a lot of people consume SNL now?
It's how a lot of people consume everything now.
Through clips. Like nobody's sitting down and watching a full episode of SNL.
Well, to this point, I am always laughing at and sharing clips of Jeff Teague and his buddies on his podcast.
But you've never sat down and listened to a full episode of his podcast, right?
No, I don't even know what it's called.
Right.
No disrespect. Like, his podcast is huge, but like I've never heard the podcast, but I see all the clips.
Right.
And so, late night television, that's what it is now. I bet if you were to ask Jimmy Fallon what is his job, he would tell you, my job is to create YouTube and TikTok clips with a television show.
Yeah.
That's what the job is now.
Right.
And so, I think a lot of people see the clips, but I actually like watching the show. I enjoy watching the show. So I watched this weekend. Olivia Rodrigo was the host. She became the 44th person in SNL history in 51 seasons. She became the 44th person to pull what they call double duty.
Host and perform.
She is the host and the musical guest. Trivia time! Who was the first person to pull double duty on SNL?
The first person to pull double duty.
It's not even fair. You can't get it. I mean, you'll know the person. You'll know who this is, but just it's a hard thing to guess unless you know it. One of the things, if you know it, you spit it out, and if you don't know it, you won't be able to guess it.
But it wasn't a cast member.
No.
I don't know.
It's an artist who hosted but is mostly known for his music. Paul Simon.
I would have never gotten that.
Right. Paul Simon was the first ever person to pull double duty on SNL. He hosted and was the musical guest on the second ever episode in October of 1975. Paul Simon, I saw him, I want to say, at Mud Island. Does that make sense? Would I have seen Paul Simon at Mud Island?
That for sure makes sense.
I think I have a memory of me and Jeff Calkins.
I am almost positive that happened.
Going to see Paul Simon at Mud Island.
Mm-hmm.
Love Paul Simon. He was great.
Oh, yeah, man, that Graceland album.
Paul Simon was great.
Yeah.
So, anyway, okay. You can tell I was just sitting around last night making notes.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the youngest to ever pull double duty?
I'll say Ariana Grande.
Britney Spears.
Okay.
At 18 years old. Only one band has ever pulled double duty. Who is the band?
The band would be, oh God, it's got to be like a band where all the members are kind of got some personality. So
okay, you're on the right track.
That's tough.
Huge band where you know the members and they do have personalities.
Yeah.
At least two of the members are like legends, icon. Their names are. It'd be like like you'll know Axel and Slash forever, but it's not them. But like you know this guy and that guy forever.
Yeah. Okay. God, is it
the same way you know Robert Plant, Jimmy Page forever?
Is it Aerosmith? No.
Rolling Stones. Mick Jagger.
They did. I don't remember.
I mean, I don't remember either. But like, yeah, the Rolling Stones are the first and only band to ever host the show.
Interesting.
As a band.
I would have not guessed that.
Also be the musical guest. Others to pull double duty, in no particular order: Chris Christopherson, Ray Charles, Barbra Streisand, Olivia Newton-John, MC Hammer, Willie Nelson, Deion Sanders.
Okay, I remember that. Yep.
Garth Brooks, Quincy Jones, Sting, Dolly Parton, more recently Sabrina Carpenter, Timothy Chalamet.
Yes.
Because he sang the Bob Dylan songs. Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion pulled double duty. Chance the Rapper, Donald Glover, Ariana Grande. Anyway, Olivia Rodrigo this weekend became the 44th person to do it. She was great. She was actually funny in the skits, and she's great performing. Of all the young pop stars right now. So who are the young pop stars right now? It's Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan. Of all the Billie Eilish. Here's my submission. Olivia Rodrigo has the most staying power. She could have a number one album 10 years from now, and it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know if everybody else involved could. She's not going to go away. That's what I'm trying to tell you. She'll be making relevant music in 10 years.
Okay.
She's the most talented of the group.
I can go along with that.
I rock with Olivia Rodrigo.
By the way, while we're on TV, I did this during the break. Your Star Wars watching. Okay, this is the order. This is the definitive Bennett Doyle order of watching things. This doesn't include everything because there's a lot of TV shows and stuff like that. But original trilogy, prequel trilogy, Rogue One, sequel trilogy.
Jesus Christ, Bennett.
And then if you want to get in TV, I'd go Mandalorian, Clone Wars, Rebels, in any order.
You're going to have to text that to me.
And then maybe Andor after that.
You're going to have to text that to
me. Then Ahsoka, then Solo.
Thers no shot I can remember any of this.
Okay,
but if you text
I'll text it to
But
you.
if you text it, it will be in my phone.
Okay.
Anyway, here's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm going to call myself an Olivia Rodrigo fan.
Mm-hmm.
I found her. She seems nice. She can, first off, very simple. She can sing and she can write. She can write and she can sing. She can perform. She seems to understand the history of women in music, seems to appreciate that. I like what I see.
Okay.
I'm an Olivia Rodrigo fan. She pulled double duty on SNL this weekend. She was great in every aspect. Some of the skits were actually like funny, like made me actually laugh out loud. SNL's, I still dig it after all these years.
I do too.
Olivia Rodrigo was great. She hosted on Saturday night and was the musical guest, and you can stream it right now if you want to or anytime. It's on Peacock.
What's the best thing we've read?
Okay, I can't stop reading about Michael Jackson. It's happened to me.
I told you.
I'm lost.
It's like that movie is so massive that it's just become like the discourse. Like,
I've just become fascinated with everything connected to it.
I've been watching so many old interviews and just like,
We have never seen anything like this. It's already gone 400 million. It's got a chance to go down as the biggest music biopic of all time. Do you know what it is?
The biggest music biopic of all time is Amadeus?
Nope.
It can't be Bohemian Rhapsody.
Ding, ding, ding.
Really?
900 million.
How about that?
Did 900 million.
I mean, Queen is awesome.
Number two is Elvis. Or actually, number two is now Michael. It was Elvis.
It was Elvis, yeah.
Michael has already passed Elvis. Now, what's interesting, when I say we've never seen anything like this, like Elvis actually got good reviews.
I loved that movie.
Elvis, the film, is considered a good film.
Mm-hmm.
This is considered a trash film.
Mm-hmm.
Rotten Tomatoes critics.
It's not, by the way.
39% critics approval, 97% audience score. So I've been reading everything I could get my eyes on about
this. Is one where the critics are just wrong.
I don't think so.
No, they are wrong. You can be mad at things that didn't make it into the movie, that or things that were omitted, anything like that. But I don't think you can watch that movie and be like, this sucks.
Okay, so this is the issue. Critics are watching it from a critic's perspective. They're watching it from a filmmaking perspective. And they make Michael. The criticism from critics is the movie's incomplete. The dialogue is nothing. You don't get a picture of real Michael Jackson. They make him out to be a childlike asexual figure. You don't really learn anything about him, what makes him tick. It's just like, he was a abused kid, super talented, got really weird, got super famous, but you don't really, it's a surface level, and you don't really come out of there knowing anything more about it doesn't tell a real story. That's the critics' issue with this movie. Movies should tell a story. This doesn't tell a real story. What it is, I saw Will Leach, who is mostly a sports writer, but also he is a film critic. He's just a smart guy who writes about everything.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah.
He had a column in the Washington Post. He put it this way, because when I say we've never seen anything like this is what I mean exactly. There's not, like, the lead actor has never acted.
Right.
So this isn't like you can attach anything to Tom Cruise and it's going to be a blockbuster. This isn't like Tom Cruise could be in a great movie or a shit movie and it's still going to do numbers because it's Tom Cruise or whoever the equivalent of Tom Cruise is today. You don't have stars to carry the film. The star of the film is not only not a star, when you see his name, you don't know how to pronounce it, perhaps, right off the jump. So it's like you don't have that advantage. And then critics just killed it. Typically, when you don't have a star and critics kill it, you cannot do box office. It's just dead on arrival. And yet, fans just said, we don't care. We don't care who's in this, and we don't care what critics say about this. It's Michael Jackson, man. Let's go see Michael Jackson's movie. So Will Leitch is like, this is kind of wild. And he said, so why is it connecting with audiences? Even though critics have told us widely and intensely that this is a bad movie. Why are audiences not only going to see it? Because it'd be one thing if audiences are going to see it and going, yeah, that sucked. Audiences are going to see it and they're going, I had a blast. And it's exactly what I told you last Tuesday when we came in here. I went and saw it with my family on Monday night. You know what I said? Go back and play. I said this exactly. I said, I thought it was a bad film and I had a blast the whole time. So Will sort of put it like this. You know what he said? He said, you try to make sense of why is this work? Why is it connecting with audiences, even though it's a bad movie? And he said, here's what it's like. Don't think of it as you're going to a movie. And I told somebody yesterday, if you want to go see it, this is what it will be like for you. If you're of a certain age, you go into the movies, you're going to get popcorn, candy, whatever you're going to get, settle, lean back in your nice chair. And it's a jukebox. You're just waiting for one of your favorite songs of all time to come on, and it'll be here in about 10 minutes. It's just, you go from Beat It to Thriller to ABC to Bad, and you're in a dark, big room with incredible sound, listening to some of the best, biggest songs ever, every 6, 7, 11 minutes. And then you look up and it's over. And you're like, you don't even have real questions about the movie. You're just like, man, I had this moment where the way we sat in the theater, it was Kelly, my boys, and then me. And I looked over at one point, and my boys were both in their seats, dancing, like in their seats, like moving. They were just having a good time. You forget you're watching a movie as much as you're just having a good time. And that is the best explanation I've heard for why are audiences loving what is widely regarded as a bad movie with no A-list stars to carry it. And it's because you just love the songs. So I've been reading all sorts of stuff. And I've stumbled into a column from a guy named Stephen Hayden. And I never heard of this person, but he actually tweeted, I am the first person to write about the Michael Jackson movie. That's the way he framed it. Of course, he's the millionth. But he's a longtime music critic, written books, all that stuff. And in part, here's what he wrote about his experience walking out of the Michael Jackson movie. I shared this with you this weekend. Here's what he wrote. Tell me what you think of this.
Okay.
He wrote, the overriding thought I had walking out of the theater was that the best and most complete movie about Michael Jackson probably won't be made for another 100 years. When all of us who were alive when he was alive and dead. No, when all of us who were alive when he was alive are dead, and the only people thinking about him won't have the same emotional baggage we all do. They'll just coldly regard him as an incredibly messed up and interesting historical figure, the most extreme personality of the 20th century, no doubt. This future movie will have to be at least 8 hours long, enough to depict a man who seemingly encompasses the full breadth of the human spectrum, from artistic genius and beauty to ruinous depravity and ugliness, from overwhelming power to whimpering weakness, from dominator to dominated, from child to man, from love to hate. It will explore matters of race, fame, capitalism, the justice system, the media, the music business, the principles of parenthood, and the mythology of childhood. It will be about all the things we don't yet have any perspective on, and it will be for an audience that might finally find the music of Michael Jackson dated and boring and not worth hearing, at least not at the expense of everything else. I don't know if I agree with every word of that, but I do agree with this. It is impossible to make an accurate portrayal, real-like depiction of here is the Michael Jackson story right now, because there's too many people who are emotionally attached to it. Give it 100 years, let time pass, that's when you will get a real picture trying to tell an accurate and honest story about who Michael Jackson was. I think that's right.
That's a very interesting point. I mean, it would be fascinating to like take a time machine, go to the future and see, like, once we're all gone, just what people think about him. I mean, the music's going to be the music, though. Like, he's going to have a new generation of fans because the music's timeless. It's so good.
Okay, so this might be where I disagree with Steven.
Yeah.
And he's a music critic, so perhaps I don't even belong in the conversation. But his point is, at some point, you will have an entire world of people who did not grow up with this music, who did not die with this music, who haven't really been exposed to this music. And Michael Jackson will not be something that they dance to at a wedding or at a prom or in the club or just, remember listening to with their parents. He'll just be this weird guy who made music a lot of people liked 100 years ago. But whoa, what a wild story it was. I think detached from all that will be helpful. I'm not sure the music isn't timeless. He's suggesting the music is not timeless. The music will sound dated at some point.
I disagree.
I think
evidence being it is like top of the streams right now.
Okay, this is why I disagree. I learn a lot through my children, like what hits them, because they're just things when you get 49 years old that don't hit you anymore. They don't reach you anymore. But if I have a young adult son and young children, and so I ask a lot of questions. What are you listening to? What do kids talk like? When the whole Kendrick Drake thing was like, hey, how much are kids your age talking about that? Like, I just want to know, like, what do they say? I'm interested all the time in what are kids talking about and thinking about, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff my kids listen to is because they're in a car with me. So you're going to listen to what I want to listen to. You're in a house with, and so you just, like, my kids know the Beatles because the Beatles are in our home. Our kids know Kendrick Lamar because Kendrick Lamar is in our home.
Yeah.
But here's my point. They know Michael Jackson, and I don't really know how or why. But like, they know all those songs. Like, I can call up Spotify and just start listing Michael Jackson songs, and they know all of them as if they were released yesterday, but they were released 50 years ago. And so if my kids are naturally exposed to Michael Jackson and enjoying it, because I could pick them up from school today and I could talk about every other 80s big, 90s big act, and they don't really know it. Like, I could say, hey, Cyndi Lauper, Madonna, even Prince. Like, they kind of know Prince because of me, but they know Michael Jackson and they like Michael Jackson. And so if my kids in the year 2026 hear those songs and connect to those songs, why won't kids? It was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Why won't kids 50 years from now? There is a such thing as timeless music. I think the Beatles are timeless music. You could put on Let It Be in your home today and your family would enjoy it. Like, you could put on the Beatles today and people will connect with the Beatles. You don't have to be of the Beatles time to connect with the Beatles. That I think the Beatles are going to be a thing forever. Yep. And Michael Jackson might be too.
Yeah, I think so.
The songs just might have the ability to connect with people regardless of generation, regardless of time. That's the one place where I think Steven might be wrong. His premise is, when nobody cares about these songs anymore, then you can really talk about Michael Jackson. And I'm not sure we will ever have a place where people just where those songs don't matter. I mean, never's a long time, but like, these songs were from a long time ago, and they still matter today. They still matter today. So we're down these rabbit holes, then we'll move on. The other night, we just sort of on YouTube, and I turned on, it just sort of popped, because we've been watching so much Michael Jackson stuff, it like, now YouTube's just sending it to me.
Yep.
Anyway, live at, it was Michael Jackson live at Wembley Stadium in July 1988. So he was 40 years old. So we turned that on, and I'm just watching. Here's the thing. I'm not even like a big Michael Jackson fan. I don't drive around listening to Michael Jackson. I do. I grew up listening to Michael Jackson, and then, that's it. I don't. So this is all coming from not some Michael Jackson super fan. This is somebody who lived through it. So we to turn on live at Wembley. Really just passing time until SNL comes on. It's like the Sixers just eliminated the Celtics. We got about an hour and a half till SNL comes on. This is how exciting it is around the Parrish house. Let's turn on Michael Jackson live at Wembley 1988. We were having fun for a minute. And here's the thing. Watching it, I was blown away by this. There's some of it that looks dated, like his backup singers, like they have big hair and like it looks of the 80s. But just Michael Jackson performing at the age of 40 in that, bro, if that concert was tonight, it would be the best concert in the world tonight. It pops like it's just crazy how insanely incredible he is as a performer. And like, obviously he wouldn't have been able to do that forever. But this is my point. You could watch that concert in 1988 and people are flipping out. You could turn that concert on in 2026 and it's like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem old. It seems like you're watching an all-time great, perhaps the greatest entertainer ever. Like live at Wembley, July 1988. Just if you're bored, call it up. It's just incredible.
Okay.
He's just an incredible, incredible performer. So anyway, if there's anything out there about Michael Jackson to be read or watched, I've probably done it at this point. But if I stumble into something new, I'll let you know. By the way, to your point, Spike Lee, who obviously, this is a little bit like, I feel a little silly arguing with a music critic sometimes. Same thing with like Spike Lee, because I'm sitting here and saying all the critics say this movie stinks.
What'd Spike say?
He said the critics are wrong. The movie's great. He said critics are wrong. He said the movie stops in 1988. The stuff that people want in the film doesn't fit the time of the film. This is very simple. He said, from my perspective, this is very simple. Now, maybe they ended it there intentionally to leave that stuff out, but they have built a movie around a specific time in Michael Jackson's life that ends before the stuff you want in there is in there. Now, we'll see what they do going forward, but Spike Lee's opinion is just as a film, the critics are wrong on this one. I see both sides. I think the critics are right if you just look at it from a filmmaking perspective, there ain't much there. But from a film perspective, like just as the songs, go to the movies, is what I told somebody. It is not going to win an Academy Award. But if you go see it, you will probably have a good time seeing it because it's a fun thing to see. It's a fun experience. Anyway, just hit your button.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Tuesday. Look back at a couple of game ones in the second round. Will Anthony Edwards play tonight? We'll see. Sounds like it's doubtful, but it's at least in the cards. Fun night at NBA tonight. We'll be back tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good, rep your hood.